Hey y'all, I'm getting ready to go to a Christmas party, but I thought I would show y'all a before and after, as we are getting 20-degree weather soon, and we've had 80-degree weather this week. So it's going to be a big change in weather for us. I want to show you the effect on the garden. So let me show you. Here's the fern. That's going to be going into the garage to protect it. Here's the Confederate rose hibiscus by the pergola, and it has not lost all of its leaves yet, but it will. We won't be doing anything to protect it. It comes back every year. All of this unknown grass here, I'm sure, will be flattened. The Mexican heather will freeze, but it'll be cut back and come back. Salvia is all nice and green and full, and it's not going to like this cold weather. We'll see what it looks like afterwards. These Confederate rose hibiscus that I propagated will be going inside so that those don't get destroyed. The shrimp plant that I cut back will probably be turned to mush. We won't worry about that. It'll come back every year. This hydrangea that I'm getting ready to move, it'll be fine. It can tolerate the cold weather. These little bushes I don't know about. That's not our cat. But these little bushes, I don't really know how they're going to tolerate the cold weather, the freezing weather, but we'll see. The Confederate rose hibiscus that I planted this year here is actually blooming, but these leaves are gonna freeze in that cold weather. This pepper plant's pretty much going dormant for the year anyway. It's a Mad Hatter pepper, so it'll be fine. I can cut it back to about 6 inches and it'll come back. These elephant ears, as you can see, there's a couple of falling into the pond right here, but otherwise those are going to turn to mush and will be cut down to the ground after the cold weather. They'll come back next year anyway. Still not our cat, but we're nice to them. Garlic, it's doing all right. I may or may not do something to protect it. Probably don't think I will. The blue potato bush, I can't remember how it affected it last year when we got cold weather. So we'll just have to see. Have to see what it's got going on after it gets blasted with 20-degree weather. This, as you can see, we have some lantana blooming here. It's not concerned that we have cold weather coming, but this needs to be cut back anyway. So even if the weather affects it, you know, it'll come back next year. Is that not pretty? Just grew here wild. This rose bush was new this year. Not sure why it's lost all of its leaves, but it's getting some new ones back, and the cold shouldn't affect it. These I have not cut back yet, these cannas, and it's time anyway, but they are blooming. As you can see, we're getting blooms in December. There's another one with a bloom. Bloom. Just blooms everywhere, even though the foliage isn't looking very pretty. But those are going to get taken out by the cold weather. They don't like the cold. Tommy's orange tree, I have put straw around the bottom, and we will be protecting this. When I get home from the party, I will put something on here to protect it. Still haven't sprayed these leaves for whatever is attacking them, but I need to get on that. The banana tree, I also put straw at the bottom, and we'll be wrapping it to protect it. I can't remember if this is garlic or onions, but I'm not going to worry about it. It'll be fine, whatever it is. And of course the Rurelia and the crepe myrtles, they're fine. They don't care. The gardenias will also not really be bothered by the cold weather, so we won't be doing anything to those. Pretty much everything we plant so they can tolerate our local weather. These are the cannas that I had already cut back. They're looking rather lush, but unfortunately the cold weather is going to wipe them out and I'll have to cut them back down to the ground again. So here's the pineapple sage, which still has blooms on it. Some mint. And we actually had some little blooms on our bell pepper plant. Lots of them actually. But this is going to get wiped out by the cold. But it'll probably come back. So anyway. So the second part of this video is going to be me showing you the aftermath after Coldmageddon. I mean, I don't know what to call it. Hopefully it's not a repeat of a couple of years ago where we lost power and everything. So I will continue this video after the cold hits us. Alright, well, let's look at the aftermath of Winter Storm Elliott, where we in Texas got down to about 16. We are still not above freezing. This is the salvia. It's going to lose its leaves, but it'll come back. I had put my fern in the garage. This is the one that hangs on the pergola. It seems to be alright. Not drooping or anything, so I think it's going to be good. Mexican heather's frozen, but I'll cut it back and it'll come back in the spring. This is what happened to the Confederate rose hibiscus. Leaves are destroyed, but the plant will be fine. Mad Hatter pepper, it comes back year after year. This freeze isn't going to hurt it. I'll just cut it back down to the ground. Another Confederate rose hibiscus that the leaves are toast on, but it'll come back in the spring. And then these proven winter shrubs, whose name I cannot remember. They're alright. Don't seem too phased by the cold. Lemongrass is frozen. I'll cut it down and it'll be fine. That's that one. Elephant ears are trashed. I'll cut those back and they'll be fine. That's a Confederate rose hibiscus as well. Of course, like I said earlier, the leaves will fall off and it'll be fine. I do see some fish alive in the pond. The pond plants are frozen. The reeds don't seem too affected. That's right there in the middle. That lantana right there is frozen, but I'm gonna trim that one back anyway and it'll be fine. Garlic. I think the garlic's gonna be fine. We'll just have to wait and see. Blue potato bush. The leaves are all frozen, but this one's gonna be fine. It survived last year, which was a week of this, so it was worse. The milkweed does not like this at all, but it needed to be cut back down to about 6 inches anyway, and it'll come back in the spring. Perfume breeze. Climbing rose, for the most part, is fine. It's probably going to lose a bunch of these leaves, but the canes will be fine. This America rose, It's already lost all of its leaves and it's getting new ones back. Roses are fine in this weather, so that's not a problem. These canna lilies are now trash. I'll have to cut those down to the ground and they'll be back in the spring. On Tommy's orange tree, we concentrated on protecting the graft. It's probably going to lose some leaves. The banana tree, we just wrapped the base and put hay down. It's going to probably be fine. We'll have to see on that one. I'm not positive about this one. And of course the chickens are fine. We don't really do anything in the winter differently than any other time of year. They still get their same layer, feed, and scratch. They do lay, my shadow, they do lay year round. Now, these are leghorns. They lay more than the Morans. The Morans like to take a lot of vacation time. We do have to make sure that their water doesn't freeze. And it did, of course, freeze. Get a drink. Get a drink. I gotta empty the leaves out. Okay. You're gonna have to come back because I gotta get to work. There you go. Clean it up better later. They are all still happy and healthy for the most part. Still laying eggs. They know right where to go. Looks like we need more feed. We had emptied the bird bath, so we didn't have to worry about anything freezing in it. Just need to clean it out, get it refilled. Crepe myrtles all will lose their leaves, but they'll be fine. They can handle this cold weather. The Ruellia will lose all of its leaves. It almost already has. They're all along this here, and they'll come back in the spring just fine. The bell pepper plant is toast, but I've actually seen those come back. The pineapple sage is also, you can see the leaves are just falling off. It's toast. Might even come back. That's garlic. It'll be fine. And the mint will regrow as well. Alright, well, I have to close this video, but I gotta get to work. By the time I get home from work, it's too dark outside to actually record anything. So, thank you guys for watching. You'll just have to wait until spring to see what comes back and what doesn't come back and what new things we'll be adding. And like I said, thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe.